Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to Adept Packaging's March Learning Share. With everything going on in the world, we recognize there's been significant changes to each one of our lives that require major adjustments to the way that most of us are living, working, and functioning right now. So we're very proud that despite these disruptions, we're able to continue with our monthly learning shares and provide you with a bit of human interaction today. So I truly want to thank each of you for joining us, and today's topic is considerations when implementing 2D data metrics codes and serialization. For today's presentation, all of our attendees have had their lines placed on mute. If you wish to ask a question, you can type your question into the chat box at any time throughout the presentation. Please be sure to send your questions to Adept Packaging host, and we'll read them at the end of the presentation. You can also ask a question at the conclusion by taking your line off of mute first. You'll see the polling function is active for this month's presentation, and we'd love to hear your feedback. So the poll will run throughout the duration of the presentation, and if you want to reach out to us, please make sure you provide your email address in the poll so we can contact you. We'll go ahead and get started by introducing today's speaker. Today, we welcome Andre Schultz. Andre is a senior manager on our Adept Digital team. He has over 25 years of experience as an engineer, product and IT manager, and is an expert in serialization track and trace technologies. He holds several degrees in engineering and has worked with dozens of clients to manage their technical projects, implement and assess their serialization strategies, and to support their teams. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Andre. Welcome, Andre.
Hello, welcome everybody. In today's presentation, we want to take a look at 2D codes use and implementation and related serialization options as they are applicable across all industries. Some of the folks from the pharma industry might find some of the information familiar, but maybe there are some new viewpoints on the use of those considerations. So 2D codes are quickly replacing 1D barcodes in many areas, and they are popping up on all kinds of products, from food to electronics. You might have seen them even on letters that you receive from your insurance company. Everything seems to move in that direction, and very often those 2D codes are also being used to add serialization. So today we want to cover some of these topics here. As you can see here, we want to talk about product identification, the applicable industry standards, impacts on packaging lines, benefits of the implementations, common pitfalls, and some of the services that Adept can provide. Gonna learn a little bit about how they connect, but also, maybe look at it from a different perspective. So a little history at the beginning. When we talk about product identification, we look at the current use on most products, and that is the UPC, and the UPC code was introduced back in the 70s, and really chewing gum was the first product that had a UPC barcode on it to allow identification and easy checkout at the counter. At that time, sure, not every counter and every store was equipped with scanners, but it was the beginning of the common adaptation of that UPC code. When we look at common codes that we can find on products or on packaging and different types of packaging forms, we come across usually the main used ones, and they are still a lot of 1D linear barcodes, and they can be UPC barcodes, they can be GS1 128 barcodes containing product information or manufacturing information, shipping information. There are some specialty codes. There's a whole variety of linear barcodes available, but more and more it streamlines to specific ones that are still being used, and a lot of specialty codes are dying out. We also see that with the implementation of 2D codes, there is an adaptation of the data matrix or the QR code. So they are the two most common and most adopted 2D codes, but also there are codes that are being used in electronic carriers. So like electronic tags, RFID labels, or transponders. So today we want to look a little bit more at the possibility of using 2D codes. So a lot of times people ask, when you want to use a 2D code, which one should I use? So that's a difficult question because different industries have adopted different types of 2D codes. As I said, mainly either the data matrix code or the QR code.